Oh my goodness. Hey, really quick, we got Reggie Milton here, but also Bitcoin. I just changed the title. Bitcoin all-time high. Some people are saying 70K. I'm not seeing 70K. I am seeing 69, 800, 700 some change, but Bitcoin all-time high is officially here. Reggie Middleton, what's going on? Hey, thanks, Reggie, for that name. He said he crushed him on CNBC. The guy's name was James Alltoucher or whatever. That's the guy who's doing the AI
James
ads now. He's
Altucher.
grifted.
Okay, yeah, I know him.
He's grifted again.
Yeah. If you have nothing nice to say, say nothing at all. So that's where I'm going to stay right here. Okay.
Here we go.
But
how you doing today, Reggie?
I'm all right. Don't believe what you see on social media ads, because if you have to buy social media ad space, then how strong is the message? You understand what I mean?
I definitely do.
Okay. So what do we talk about today, fellas?
Right now we are talking price action and money. Listen, the degenerates are here. Greed is becoming at an all-time high. People want to know, hey, do we park it in Bitcoin? Or if I don't have enough for a whole Bitcoin, where can I put my money to get enough? That is the discussions that's going on. We have to cater to it. And I mean, it's a real discussion. Things are pumping. People bills are being paid right now. Rent's being made. Mortgages are being had, cars are being bought, and vacations are being taken. All right. So people want to know where to go. So that was pretty interesting. You're talking about Craig Wright and Craig Wright's Bitcoin ETF. He just fills something out for a patent, or he has a patent on it?
No, to be honest, well, first of all, I don't do price talk. But just to address, if you can't buy a whole Bitcoin, it's irrelevant. That's like, not being able to buy a whole $1 million. So if someone gave you $999,999.99, would you not take it? So it's irrelevant whether you can buy a whole Bitcoin or not. If you believe in the asset, then purchase the asset and purchase as much as you can prudently afford, given risk, reward, etc. I'm not going to get into that. So, but the nominal amount of Bitcoin, whether it's one whole, one, two, etc., is absolutely irrelevant. It's like water. You're going to drink a whole quart of water. You thirsty, you drink water. Okay. As for Craig Wright, I threw Craig Wright's name. I did the video. I'll put it up on my YouTube channel. I use his name as just clickbait, to be absolutely honest. He did write the patent, but Craig Wright is so emotionally charged and people are so in their feelings that, they either love or hate him. They don't even know why they love or hate him. Much of the hate to Craig Wright comes from the fact that he's published or he's derided by the media. But take a look at who owns the media that derides him, and then take a look at the patents that he wrote and who they affect. And I'm not a Craig Wright fan. Don't get me wrong. The dude can be a little rude, okay, and disrespectful, but so can most of the guys in crypto. Their character.
That's true. That is very true.
So I don't favor or disfavor him, but I am a strong believer of fact and primary source research. So with that told, I'm going to start putting, and I'm not going to speak on my own portfolio at all. Okay. And I have a lot to say on that, but I'm not going to speak on it at all. Okay. I'm going to start dropping dimes that are going to turn this industry apart. So I started with the patent that Craig Wright wrote and Chain owns. And Chain, if I'm not mistaken, was Craig Wright's IP holding portfolio. He sold off a majority share of it to a fellow Australian named Craig Ayer. I don't know how to pronounce the name. He appears to be, a billionaire that got his money from online casinos and gambling. Again, I don't know that to be a fact. It's also irrelevant. Who the players are, what their names and how they made their money is irrelevant. What's important is the actions. Okay. There's a patent that nChain owns for multi-party computing. That's how Coinbase secures ETFs for cold storage.
Yep.
Okay. If that is patented and they're not paying license fees, that technology doesn't belong to them. It belongs to somebody else. The most successful ETFs in the history of ETFs is the Bitcoin ETF, led by BlackRock, supported through cold storage technology that is not owned by the custodian that's using it. Think about that. Okay. And everybody's worried about whether Craig Wright is Satoshi. Who the hell cares? Let's suppose he's not.
Irrelevant.
Let's suppose he is. That's highly irrelevant. It's highly irrelevant. Okay. nChain, now I said that's a patent. very critical patent. N-Chain has over 3,900 patent applications pending. 3,900 patent applications, all in blockchain and DLT. They have 1,090 issued patents, actual patents that were issued, all in blockchain and DLT. Even if they have 90% superfluous dust, immaterial patents, the 10%, what are the chances of an exchange running its entire business on this technology not tripping several of those patents? Very slim. And we're not going to discuss like those tall brothers in Brooklyn. We're going to totally disregard that. So much of this industry is already patented and owned by a group of people, or a group of entities. Okay, a lot of those entities are part of the crypto club, so they purposely will not turn on each other until, of course, enough money is at stake. Then, capitalism and U.S. history starts to form. But until that point, they have their clubs and their corporates and everything else. But what do you think happens when the holders of the other IP who are not part of the club either get attacked or when they get paid for their IP? And I can tell you now, in my opinion, some of the most ingenious inventions were created by people who weren't members of the club, didn't have access to the $30 or $40 million of venture capital to get started, or just didn't have access to the media because the media is owned by the members of the club. So this stuff has been going on in the background for some time now, and I am going to throw grenades into the punch bowl. It's called the truth. Okay, and anything I say, just I'll provide a link. Just take a look at it, read it yourself.
So Reggie, Reggie, let me ask you. Somebody asked me the other day about if there was some sort of black swan event that could, crash Bitcoin or crash the price, so to say. And I told him it's probably going to be Coinbase this bull cycle. Was I correct in telling them that it was Coinbase? Because it's part of what you said, but also too, like you said, I've heard other people talk about the patents that they use for the ETF for the cold storage that they're going to have to end up paying at some point, and that could be a black swan event for people that they don't see it coming at all because it's the biggest exchange.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't. Bitcoin is not really fundamentally driven, so it's a bunch of bots trading. So I can see that crashing Bitcoin price temporarily, but the reason it will crash is because they're bots trading. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fundamentals of what Bitcoin's worth or what it can do.
Of course,
it's people chasing price action. Okay.
Zay said that before the show. Is actually when we were talking about that. He was like, "Man, these what coin was that? Terra." He was like, "Man, that's Terra bots buying Terra Luna still."
Yeah, it's just bots buying. Yeah, well, the changes
literally just said that.
Yeah, it's just bots. People don't realize that. They think it's actual dudes behind the computer pressing buttons. It's like, no,
not even close. That those days have passed. Years, many years ago. But you have to understand there is no major technology industry sector or subsector that is not driven and ran by patents. As a matter of fact, usually the more patents you have, the more money is involved. Let's look at some of the biggest. Look at Apple. For those who use iPhones, I'm definitely not one of those people, but if you use an iPhone, right, iPhone has over 1,200 patents embedded in it that they use. Does Apple have a problem making money? You have a problem using or accessing iPhones? Samsungs, which are much more intuitive and much more technology with folding screens and 200 megapixel cameras, they have well over 1,200 patents embedded in it. You think Samsung is starving? You're having a problem getting phones? The virus for the COVID, mRNA, okay, and the technology behind that, gene splicing, CRISPR, the light, the telephone, all this stuff is patented, right? You can tell when there's not a lot of money involved because people aren't moving to patent things and they're not inventing things in that space. When you get a lot of inventions in the space, it moves the space along faster. And when you have a lot of inventions, people want to protect their inventions, so they file for patents. So your open source mentality, patents are bad guys, don't know their financial history, are ignorant, or they're basically trying to eschew you away from patents because they're too busy patenting things. Okay, so just to put that, so this is not going to have anything to do with Bitcoin. Now, BTC price, that's a different story. Okay, in the video I put up, I should have been a little deeper. If you look at the risk disclaimers in the issuance papers for BlackRock's ETF. They go through what happens if the market believes that another flavor of Bitcoin is the real Bitcoin versus BTC, okay? Or if IP pressures, and they don't go into this, but I will. I didn't do it deep in the video, but I will. Suppose that N-Chain, and N-Chain has said, or representatives of N-Chain has said that they will favor users of BSV, which is their version of Bitcoin, which is a fork from BCH, Bitcoin Cash, which itself was a hard fork from BTC, the original one. And BTC itself did a hard fork when they did SegWit, segregated witness, which is a technological change. Just to go into the history for nerds, if N-Chain enforces its patents, okay, it would be more expensive to do business if they favor BSV, which I believe they will. Okay, they say if you use our chain, you know, a lot of licensure would be embedded in the chain. Okay, but let's suppose they do that or they don't. If they enforce their patents, just transferring Bitcoin would be more expensive. Okay, if you use BTC versus transferring BSV. Okay, they can use their patents to put a lot of pressure and having BSV adopted. If that's the case, then the Bitcoin ETF that BlackRock has launched, what does it hold? What did it buy? BSV or BTC?
BTC.
Oh, you're saying which one they're going to hold as the real one? They're going. Oh, I get what you're saying.
Well, what have they purchased? They purchased what? $10 billion or what?
I haven't looked, so I can't confirm because I haven't looked on the back end. But what
they
the word
BTC.
is, yeah, what the word is Bitcoin though.
Yeah, everybody.
BTC.
Yeah, everybody. Now, Bitcoin is like an overarching, you know, technology. Because remember, you know, don't believe Gary Gensler and the SEC, right? These are not securities. This is technology. This is software. That's what it is. Okay, so Bitcoin is the software, and you have different flavor, different forks. BTC, BCH, BSV, BS. If you understand what I'm saying. So that was a joke, but you're not laughing. BS. Y'all gonna have to laugh. There we go. Do it. Give me a little something.
Listen,
right?
I'm over here doing research in the background, Reggie. I just saw another Trump token. Super Trump is out there for the D-Gens out there. S Trump.
Okay, so if these patents or they win the copyright suit, which I'm not taking that seriously because copyrights mean nothing relative to the patents. Okay, if they have enough force to give BSV the nod, then these $10 billion of tokens that BlackRock, et cetera, purchase are worth a lot less than anticipated. So what Bitcoin is or adopted, the flag position, the pole position of Bitcoin can change depending on market sentiment, depending on legal pressure, et cetera. And the reason why there's a lot of risk there is because you've been convinced by people from New York that this technology is an investment in securities. It's technology, period. Go back to the internet days back in 1993, right? Would you have made more money purchasing IP packets, internet protocol packets, which is a little bits of information that allow this conversation to happen through the internet or sending emails? Or would you make more money owning the actual technology itself, the internet? If you own the internet, everybody who uses the internet owes you money. Facebook, Amazon, Google, the whole nine. Or you could trade internet packets back and forth.
So the question is, though, my thing is, this is where it's like the 2 + 2 = 4 and all of it makes sense. But the powers that be, when you're dealing with the BlackRocks and everything, they're doing it for bottom line. This kind of what also was kind of scary about what you said is what is stopping BlackRock, Fidelity, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and everybody else getting together and say, yeah, let's use a different type of Bitcoin. Let's use a different fork. Let's use this one. Even if the hardcore community doesn't agree with it, so what? The people who are doing our ETFs have no clue. So like you said, what do they do? Actually switch over to a BSV or to a fork or to something else? Do you see that being possible at all?